All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. If you've ever yelled, representative into your phone just begging to get a human, you know exactly why we're here today. We're going on an architectural tour to look at the exact requirements and design blueprint for building something radically better. We're talking about an enterprise multi-department voice receptionist.
So, what really makes the perfect corporate receptionist? Well, imagine an absolute super operator. We are talking about a system that instantly knows the entire company directory, reads CRM files at lightning speed, books appointments seamlessly, and completely briefs human agents before passing the phone along. I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, right? But that is exactly what this requirement document outlines for you to build.
The absolute crucial point here is understanding exactly what this system actually is. An enterprise multi-department voice receptionist isn't just one of those clunky old phone trees that says press 1 for sales. No way. It's an automated central AI agent. It greets the caller, intelligently parses their spoken intent, actually performs department-specific API lookups to grab real-time data, and then executes seamless warm transfers packed with conversation metadata. Basically, this document is your ultimate blueprint for designing an agent that handles everything from that very first hello to some incredibly complex live handoffs.
Section 1. The Ultimate AI Receptionist.
Okay, so here's what's officially on the menu for this build. Your system is going to handle everything from the ground up. You'll be provisioning a real phone number on a voice AI agent platform and building a multi-intent classification engine that can route callers to 5 distinct corporate departments. But here is the actual magic. You are going to integrate tool calling. That means the AI can literally check HR career pages, check invoice statuses for finance, or log new leads for sales right on the call. If things get a bit too complex, it executes SIP warm transfers with payload context. And finally, it dispatches automated SMS or email call summaries the second it hangs up. It's a complete end-to-end journey, replacing 5 manual steps with one totally seamless AI interaction. Now, just as important as what it can do is what it won't do. We absolutely have to keep the scope manageable here. You are not going to be configuring direct processing of sensitive employee HR files, and you definitely aren't executing actual credit card invoice payments today. We also aren't building CRM or ERP databases from scratch. We're just assuming those already exist. And finally, for this specific build, we're sticking strictly to English, so multi-language support is out of scope. Knowing what not to build is just as important as knowing what to build.
Section 2. Routing the caller's intent and powering up with APIs. Notice how we map out exactly how the AI thinks and connects to external actions. Your intent router prompt engine is going to map the caller's keywords directly to target intents. So if a caller asks about a job, the system triggers the HR intent and fires a tool calling action straight to a Sandbox API endpoint, something like Greenhouse or Lever. If a caller is asking about an unpaid bill, the finance intent uses an API handler to query Stripe to validate the invoice status. And if someone wants to buy something, the sales intent captures the lead and drops that contact directly into HubSpot. It is entirely dynamic and completely data-driven.
Section 3, the perfect live handoff.
We all absolutely hate the traditional cold transfer, right? The caller is blindly forwarded to a queue, the human agent picks up, and the poor caller has to repeat their name, their problem, and their account number all over again from scratch. It is just incredibly frustrating. But instead, your system is going to use a warm SIP transfer. The AI agent executes a SIP webhook transfer that forwards the active session, and crucially, it compiles and syncs a conversation summary, the caller's intent and their name, sending that whole context payload directly to the live agent's desktop terminal. The human agent answers the phone already knowing exactly who the caller is and exactly what they want. It is a real game changer.
Section 4, your developer toolkit. To successfully complete this hands-on setup as an enterprise voice architect, you're going to need a few essential items. It starts super simply with a modern web browser. You'll also need an account on a voice AI agent playground to actually host the system, and access to those Sandbox CRM, ATS, and ERP API endpoints we just talked about, like Greenhouse, HubSpots, and Stripe. You also need a fundamental understanding of SIP forwarding protocols, REST API webhooks, and routing props. Oh, and of course, you'll need a real test phone to verify that the transfer triggers and those SMS confirmation notifications are actually firing off in real time. Now, as you build, you have to keep these crucial assumptions and constraints in the back of your mind. First, the prompt design assumes callers will state their intent using clear department reference terms right during the greeting, terms like billing or jobs. Second, your mock API pipelines must be pre-configured and ready to receive those requests. You also have to be aware of platform limitations. If you're using free-tier sandbox platforms, they might restrict your parallel webhooks or concurrent zip lines during testing. And finally, keep an eye on your network speed. A network latency of over 250 milliseconds will trigger this really awkward overlapping audio, essentially turning your cutting-edge AI into that annoying person who constantly interrupts you. So you now have the complete blueprint to build a highly intelligent, context-aware, multi-department enterprise AI receptionist. You know the exact scope, you know how the API tool calling works, and you understand the mechanics of the perfect warm SIP transfer. The sandboxes are configured and the APIs are waiting. So the only question left for you is this. Are you ready to build the digital employee of the future before it totally replaces the phone systems of the past?